guys. So I was driving home today and definitely got a call from Spirit to tap in and listen and just kind of see what came. I have a couple inklings about what Spirit might want to talk about, but I'm not really sure. So this is one of those times that I'm just going to try to tap in and get clear and just trust that whatever is meant to come through will come through for whoever's listening at whatever time they hear it. So I'm just going to close my eyes and take some time to be quiet and breathe. And I would invite you to do the same thing if you're listening to this message. And hopefully it will bring some clarity or insight to those that it reaches. So in my mind, I'm just saying a prayer for integrity, honesty, and love to come through this message and to allow my ego to be released and not be in the way, and my intellect and mind to not try to have their way with this, but to be there as a tool to interpret whatever messages are meant to come through. I'd also like to just offer a prayer of gratitude for this amazing opportunity to communicate and feel spirit with me, with us. And as always, I invite my family of light to be with me, to help me to be an open, clear channel for divine love and light. Feels good when they all show up to embrace me in that divine love. And hopefully you can feel that too. And so the first thing they want to say is that they see us struggling and searching for a sense of purpose and meaning. And they see us looking all around frantically for something that's going to give us that sense of purpose. And they're showing us just kind of spinning around. I mean, it looks kind of ridiculous when you see it from their perspective. Spinning around just fruitlessly searching and looking with this kind of sense of panic, like we're going to miss something if we don't find this answer that we're looking for. If we don't find this thing that will define us and make everything make sense in our lives. Help us to know why we're here and who we are. And they see this, and it's one of the most difficult things for them to watch when they watch us as humans, because they love us so, so deeply. And so right now when I say they, it's like the whole chorus, you name it, just the divine light in all their manifestations, the angels and teachers and loved ones, and all of these beings that manifest themselves. They show up in certain ways to touch different parts of our hearts and our souls and our minds, but they are all part of the one energy, and so are we. And so sometimes it's hard for them because they just want to shout the answer at us. And sometimes they even do and we don't hear them. But, you know, it's like us watching ants, you know, frantically run around, and they just want to be able to show us the way. But they also understand that there are lessons in us having to find our way as well. But it doesn't have to be so blindly, and it doesn't have to be so alone, and it doesn't have to be so hard. There's always assistance. They're always here wanting the best for us. They always see our fullest potential and how close we are to it. But the problem is, it's like we're on a crazy scavenger hunt trying to fill in these blanks or check off the boxes to get to this understanding and sense of purpose, when really all of that is available by remembering our true nature and remembering that we are an extension of those divine beings that love us, of that divine light and love. We are performing a huge service to all of creation by being brave enough to be here and step forward to look for our soul gifts, to look for our purpose. But that's the problem, is the looking and searching rather than the knowing, the remembering, and the beingness of it. And so, when searching for a soul purpose, I mean, first of all, they're like, hold up. Everyone's soul purpose is love, and to live in a deeper and greater love, and to live in deeper and greater remembrance of who we are and where we came from. To know more and more fully with each day of our life that we are that love from which we came. We always, always are. Our mind has taken steps, our situation has caused steps that have pulled us away from it, like caused us to step back from it or away from it, searching for something outside of ourselves, or lessons that we've integrated from people around us, from our families, from our ancestors. There are various things, many, many things, and we all know this, that have kind of progressively removed us from that center of divine light. But we can always, always, always find our way home, and we will always, always, always be welcomed there with open arms, with ecstatic love, with total acceptance, always. So they say, first and foremost, that is your nature. That is everyone's nature. That is everyone's soul purpose. However, part of the beauty of human beings is the personality. We're given a personality. We're given an individual intellect. We're given each our own unique soul name, soul sound. We each have our own unique vibration. And this delights the divine because it allows the divine to see itself and experience itself in all these magical, colorful, diverse ways. So it enlivens that love, and it makes that love useful when we all live our unique essence in the world. And so while we all have that core soul purpose of love, each of us does have a soul path and purpose in this personality and in this lifetime, or in over many, many lifetimes. Normally, there is a kind of congruent thread of soul purpose for each individual through many lifetimes, but it can move and change and manifest in many different ways. And so where is the mistake that we make in trying to connect with our each individual soul purpose? And how do we invite that in with more clarity? So the first thing they say is to practice feeling and receiving divine love, to practice worthiness. And this doesn't need to be something with the mind. Sometimes spiritual teachings can appeal to the mind and might help with this worthiness, but they say it's more of a visceral experience. And so they're asking that we practice taking ourselves back to a time when we felt very cherished and nurtured by someone, a soul memory. And it doesn't even have to, you don't even have to know a specific. It can help if there is one, but if there isn't, your soul remembers, because every soul has been cherished. Your soul remembers that. And so they would like us to practice sitting in silence, first of all, and inviting the divine embrace, inviting the feeling of being cherished and loved, the feeling of being so precious. Because if you don't feel worthy of the soul gift, then you can't possibly see it in its true light. You'll see shadows of it, or you'll see pieces of it that are separated, but you won't ever see the whole cohesive picture of and potential and magic of that. If we can't find a way to practice receiving that divine appreciation for your individual soul. So I'd ask that you place your hands on your heart and take some deep breaths here and just ask, I would like to be aware of how cherished and precious I am by the divine. I would like to be open to accepting that that is truth. And you may not be very good at it yet, and that's okay. But it is a practice that you should do regularly until it gets easier. So just feeling that divine grace wrap around you. Imagine you are like a newborn baby being looked upon with wonder and awe. Imagine that you are the unique soul sound that creates and completes the chorus of love in the universe. And they say we know these words, these loving images and words sometimes make you want to cringe or back away. But they will continue to offer these words and to use this strong, loving language to help break down the barriers that we have to that intensity of love. Because that love holds up a mirror and makes us see ourselves. And by seeing that burning beauty that we are, sometimes brings forth the shadow, because we feel that our personality in this life is so far away from that true nature. And so sometimes when we're spoken to with love by the divine or offered love by the divine, we turn away from it, because it can exemplify the separation at first, because that's how our ego reacts to it. And so we want to practice breathing through that resistance and just hearing these words over and over until we can accept them. You are loved. You are perfect. You are everything. You bring completeness and magic and wisdom to the universe. You are precious. You are needed. You are loved. You will always be loved. You are always embraced here in the heart of the divine. And so beginning that practice is where we need to start when looking for our purpose. And they know we want more specific examples and direction. But until we can learn to come more from that place, our minds are going to continue to direct us away and outside of ourselves in search of purpose. I'm trying to see if they're finished. So that's part one. They're saying, yes, that's enough for now. So that's part one of our soul's journey and search for our meaning, our purpose, is to learn to accept genuine, deep, divine love without backing away from it. And sometimes that takes a lot of bravery and vulnerability, but it is the place we need to start from before we can even take the next step. So I find that pretty interesting, but I do hear that there's going to be some more parts to this conversation, so I'm excited to check that out. But thank you for listening. I hope that you can continue to try that exercise, maybe when you go to bed at night or throughout the day. I'm going to try to do that too. So be well, beloveds.